We're starting Be'ezus Hashem Hilchos Toen V'Nitan. Hilchos Toen V'Nitan mitzvahs aseyachas v'hidin toyin u'moido u'kefer. The dinim of someone that is toyin against someone else, and the other person is either moido, so the din is that he does baldin k'meidem dami. And Bam is this you saw that he does baldin k'meidem dami. Rashi says in Kedushin that the mocker is from the parsha of Meidem Miksa, so there's the din of the toyin u'moida. And then there's a kaifer, someone that's kaifer and denies owing the money that the other person is tining. So sometimes he's believed, and sometimes he's not believed, and sometimes there's a chiyuv shvua. Ubir mitzvuzu beprokamelu peirik rish. Hatoyin is chaveri b'metaltalin, v'hoidolei b'miksasan. So the din is hareza mishalom hashahidabei. So obviously, if he wants to pay, so obviously he could pay. The chiddush is that once he was moida, so that's how he does baldin k'meidin dami, and at that point in time he's mechuyev to pay. In other words, he can't pull back on his hidah. So the din is hareza mishalom hashahidabei. That's the erste zach. And also v'nishba al hashar min hatera. And on the other half, the other part that he was kaifer, he has to be nishba. Shnemar sheyema kuhuzeh. So we learn out that when he says kiyuzeh, so he says on a mixas, he's saying kiyuzeh, this is what I owe you, and the rest I don't owe you. So then the part that he says he owes, he has to pay, and the part that he says he doesn't owe, he has to swear. That's over there. It says adolikim yavid varshnayim. That's din number one. So I made them a mixas by metaltalin, a person's money by metaltalin, and he's made them a mixas, and he's kafer by mixas. So what he was made, he has to pay, and what he was kafer, he has to swear. V'chein im kafar bakel. V'amar lehoyu dvar me'elam, and ve'ed echad me'ed shahoyu. So the din is hareza nishba menatera. So if there's an eidachad that's being made like the toyin, so then hareza nishba menatera. Pi hashmu lamdu shekol mokum shishnayim mechayv neisimamen echad mechayv yishvo. V'chein lamdu pi hashmu she'eidachad l'cholav l'chol chatas ein nikam avul kamu l'shvo. So remember, there's a deal. What's these two limudim? L'chura, both of them are saying the same idea. There's a saying that there's a pasuk mepi hashmu lamdu, that whenever Shnayim Mechayv Nesimam and Echad Mechayv Yishvor, and now we have another thing that the Cholav and the Cholchat is in Yikam, I will come all the Shvor. So that there's the Yunim. Bring from the Evan Ozl that there's two dinim. In other words, there's Be'emes HaMachlekes HaRishenim, whether or not an Eid Echad, in order for an Eid Echad to be Mechayv Yishvor, if there also has to be a Taina Vadois of the Toin. So this is the Pshar is that Reuven comes to Shimon and he says, you owe me $100. And Shimon says, I don't owe you anything. And then Reuven has an eidachad which is Messiah, his taina vadois. So then for sure Shimon is mechuyev a shvus eidachad. What happens if Reuven comes and says, listen, I don't really know that Shimon owes me money, but the eidachad says that he owes me money. So Mela, as far as I'm concerned, the eidachad saying I owe money, I don't know he doesn't owe me money. So Mela, the eidachad says he owes me money. Is that also, and Shimon says he doesn't owe me money. So is Shimon also mechuyev a shvur, even though there's no toyin tainas vadai plus eidachad, there's just an eidachad, or we say no, that when there's just an eidachad, there's no shvus eidachad. So the Ri Megash and others hold that shvus eidachad is only when there's a tainas vadai. There has to be a tainas vadai from the toyin plus the eidachad which is messiah the toyin tainas vadai. Masha'inki and Tosfos and others hold that even if there's no tainas vadi, there's just an eidachad, and the toyin is tining that I don't know, but lepel the eidachad is saying you owe me money, so therefore, so you owe me money. I'm based on the eidachad, so that's also mechuyev shvur. And the word from the shit and the Shulchan Aruch, it brings also from Shittas Rambam that the Shittas, it's not so clear mamish in the Rambam, but that the Shittas Rambam is also that a tainas of an eidachad is even when there's no tainas vade of the toyin. In other words, he doesn't have to be a toyin tainas vade plus a eidachad. As long as there's an eidachad, so he's tining based on that eidachad. That's also mechayiv shvur. That also lies in these words. Kol makim sheshnayim mechayiv neisimamen echad mechayiv shvur. So just like shnayim mechayiv neisimamen, even without a taina vadois of the toyin, we pay the shnayim that are saying he owes him money, so he owes him money. So al derazeh echad mechayiv shvur. So that would be the pshat in the first Mepi Hashmu Lamdu. And then V'chein Lamdu Mepi Hashmu, this is the Evan Ozl says, V'chein Lamdu Mepi Hashmu, that normally by Meidem Mikzas, in order for Meidem Mikzas to be Chayiv Hashmu, there has to be a Kfira B'shtei Kesef, we learn out. מה שאין כמנהגי שבוע סיידחת, וכן לא מפי השבוע סיידחת לחולבן ולחולחתו סיידי נקום, אבל come לשבוע, and is come לשבוע, even in a case when there's no shtei kesef. Again, you have to understand that would also be nichol. Kol makim sheshnayim b'chayv nesim momen, echad b'chayv yishvua, which is also without a shtei kesef. But I'll call upon that's what the Even Nozel says. Halacha beis. Ein lecha mechuyev shvua min atera chutz mishleisha. There are 3 cases where you can become mechuyev shvua min atera. Misha hoide b'mixes hamatalton, like we learned, and also misha chiyev ve'edechad, if an eidechad is claiming that he owes the other person owes him money, and v'hashemer. Now, a shemer is different in the sense because by a maid of mixes, it's a tainas bari. The person is tainas bari that you owe him money, and the other person was a maid of a mixas. But negei eidechad, we said that in Shittas HaRambam is even if the toyin is not a tainas bari, but lepel he's taining based on the eidechad. The eidechad is saying that the other person owes him money, and he's saying maybe he owes him money, so maybe he has to swear. Mashenka by a shemer, there's no taina at all. Whereas by a shemer, the mafkid put the item by the shemer. The shemer is taining that something happened, which as a result of that, he's potter. And Lepel Chazal said that in order, not Chazal, Torah writes, the Torah writes, the Shvuas Hashem Tiyah Min Shneim, that in order for him to be potter, it's not enough he should just say that something happened, but he has to actually swear. That's this din. V'chilmi shechiv eidechad v'hashemer, shari nemer b'shemer, shvuas Hashem tiyah bin shneim. Kvar b'yarnu shvuas Hashemer, b'ilchas chiris, the pratim of shvuas Hashemer, the Rambam discussed in ilchas chiris. Now, v'cholechad mishloshtam, nishba v'niftar milishalim. The shvuas atera is always a nishba v'niftar. Made the mikzas, he tainas that he doesn't own the other mikzas, so he has to be a nishba v'niftar. Al derza by eidechad, he's a nishba v'niftar, and al derza by a shemer. Aval kol ha-nishboim v'neitel, in all the cases where we find that a person is not a nishba v'niftar, he's a nishba v'neitel, kegain, sochir v'nechbal, a sochir, he's claiming that the balabais still owes him the money. The balabais claims that he already paid. So the din is that he could be a nishba v'neitel. And al derza v'nichbal v'nigzal, someone that was definitely a nechbal, and someone was a nigzal, but we don't know how much. The Edom say Edis that he was a nechbal or a nigzal, but it's not clear how much. So therefore, he could be a nishba v'neitel. Now there is a pagan story. He has a star, and he's moida. The bala star is made that the part of the star was paid, but the other part of the star wasn't paid. So really, meikra the din he should be able to mon. But lepeil the din is that he has to be a nishba v'neitel. Now in nishba v'neitel, there's different types of nishba v'neitel. There's sometimes the chiddush of the nishba v'neitel is the nishba, and sometimes the chiddush of the nishba v'neitel is the noitel. By a pagan story, the chiddush is not the noitel, the chiddush is the nishba, that he has to be a nishba v'neitel. Normally, be'etzem ikra the din, he should be a neitel without a nishba. Mashal a nechbal and a nigzal and a socher, over there the chiddush is the noitel, not the noitel. And Chazal said he should be a noitel, but he has to be a nishba v'neitel. But I'll call upon there's Metzias kol ha-nishboim v'neitel between socher v'nechbal v'nigzal u'pegim shtori u'kietzven v'chein, that's the nishba v'neitel, v'chein kol ha-nishboim v'tayna sofik. He's taka a nishba v'nifter, but it's a v'tayna sofik. Kigein ha-shutvin v'ho'arisen. In other words, if 2 people are shutvim, and one shutv says that maybe the other shutv stole something from me. In other words, since he's meira heter, or aris also, there's a svara that he maybe is a meira heter, so he would like that before they mechalik the shutvis, or before they give away the arisus, in other words, they divide the crops, and the aris takes his portion, he wants that the aris should swear that he didn't take anything shalekidin. So then he could have that, that's a tainas shema, and the aris has to swear, he's a nishba v'nifter. Chen kol ha-nishboim b'tainas sofik in a shutfim v'arisim, kulam nishboim b'takonas chacham. Aber v'chol elu ha-shvuos, afal pi shehem medivri seifrim, is harein ke'en shel Torah, in the sense that it's b'nekitas chayfetz. Like we'll learn b'hamshav that there's a shvua, which is called the shvuas heses, where over there is without a nekitas chayfetz. Masha'in ke'en these shvuas, sai, those that are nishba v'neitel, and sai, those are nishba v'nifter, b'tayna sofik, are all b'nekitas chayfetz. So we have 3 shvuas, which are min ha-Torah, that's the shvuas made of mikzas, and shvuas eidachot, and shvuas ha-shemrim, and then there's the nishboim v'neitel, and all midrabanan, and al derezeh, someone that's nishba b'tayna sofik is also midrabanan. Halacha gimel. Hatoyin metalteln al chaverei, V'kofar bakel, v'amar lei hoyu dvar me'elam. He was a kefer bakel, and he said, lei hoyu dvar me'elam, oi, shahoyde b'miktsas. However, unisoni biyat, right away he was made b'miktsas, and he gave right away the miktsas that he was made on, v'amar, ein lecha biyadi elazu v'helech, and here it is. So Mela, basically, when a person's a made b'miktsas, he's being moided that he owes the person money, and on the other part, he's being kefer. But he remains someone that owes someone money. He's saying, I owe you this and this, and the other party is kefer. By Halach, the pshat is, I'm also being made that a part of your taina is true, but I don't owe you anything. In other words, I'm saying, listen, part of your taina is true, and here is it, and that's the end of it. And now, what about the other part? The other part, I'm a kefer hakel. In other words, by the fact that I paid you up the part that I was made on, so now I'm making that the other part, which I'm being kefer, is considered a kefer hakel. I'll call upon him. So when a person was either a kefer hakel chatchila, or he was made of a mitzvahs, and on the part that he was made, he said halach. Eisha Amar emesh shahoyelecha etzli, aval machaltali, einasatali, eimachartali, eihzarti lecha. Whereas originally I owed you the money, but right now I don't owe you anything anymore because I paid you back, or you sold it to me, or whatever. Ei shetan echitim v'heidali b'seirim. He time is that he owes him chitim. And he's not moida anything me'ein ataina. In other words, when he tainas, he owes him a saw of chitim, and he says, "Oh, you half a saw." That's a meida b'miktzas. But if he tainas, he owes him chitim, and he's moida b'seirim, so he wasn't moida me'ein ataina. B'chol elu poter mishvos hatera. He's poter mishvos hatera. He doesn't go into the gather of a meida b'miktzas. Okay, for Hakel is certainly not a meida b'miktzas, and Halach is not a meida b'miktzas because it's considered the mixes that he was meida is separated from the mixes that he was kefer. And al derech zeh, Toen V'Nitan v'heidele b'seirim is not considered a made of mitzvahs. So memele be'etzem me'ikra de dina, he's part of meshvah. Avol chach, so b'chol eilu part of meshvah satera. Avol chach me'atalmud, tiknu she'yishova hanitu b'chol eilu, shvuas heses v'yipatim. So he has this way shvuas heses. Heses means like to appease the toyin. In other words, since l'peil is being taken, and normally there's a klal einodum tiveya elim ken yeshle, so Chacham instituted that he should have a shvuas heses, and that was chachmei atalmud. It wasn't in the Mishnah. Ve'ena kein shel teira. This shvua doesn't have a din of kein shel teira because she'ein bo nekitas chayfetz. Kvar biyarnu derech hashvua shel teira v'derech shvuas heses. B'hilchos shvuas, the seder advarim of how you swear shvuas hateira and how you swear shvuas heses, that was discussed already in Hilchos Shvuas. So again, so we have the shvuas hateira, then we have the shvuas midrabanan, but they'll be nekitas chayfetz, and then there's the shvuas heses, which is also midrabanan, and that's been a kefer hakel, or someone that said halach, or someone that was taught nechitim behedeli b'seirim, which all have a din of a kefer hakel, and over there's no shvuas hateira, there's not even a shvuah midrabanan b'nekitas chayfetz. It was a shvuah that was instituted by the Chachmei HaTalmud called shvuas heses. Halacha Dalet. Kol mi shenischayev shvuah min hateira is hareze nishba v'nifter v'im leirotza liyishava is yerden l'nechosav v'gave mehem kol ma shetein chaverio, so they could go ahead and be yerden l'nechosav shari tevea emerle eini zoz midim teira yishava eitanli. In other words, you owe me the money. Either you have a right to swear. A person was a maid of a mikzas, so he has a right to swear on the mixes that he's kafir. But if he doesn't want to swear on the mixes that he's kafir, so then you have a right to mon from him that mixes that he's kafir. And v'yesh le lahachrim al mi shetoin alay dover she'eni kein v'neisen. So in other words, if he doesn't want to swear, so he could make a chayrim on someone that's tiding against him something which is not really true, but the Pele has to give it. In other words, he has the option to either swear or pay. He doesn't want to swear, so then he has to pay. But before he pays, he can be machrim and say anyone that's being taken like dover she'eni kein should be b'chayrim. That's talking about if a person is mechuyev and a shvuah min hateira, so if he doesn't want to swear, he has to pay. Avol mishin is chayiv shvuah mit devreim is im hoyim an nishboim v'neitlin, so is eni yochel hapech hashvuah. So his nishba v'neitl, his only option is to be a nishba v'neitl. Shari hanitva emerle he shava v'tul k'misha tiknol chacham. You have only a right to be nishba v'neitl. B'imlei rotza liyishava yelichlei. So knows the nitva ketaina. That's you're a tiveya, you have a right to be a nishba v'neitl, but if you're not you don't want to be a nishba, you can't be a neitl. And beheir rabbeisai shem amar tiveya eini reitze b'takona zu shetiknol chacham. In other words, I don't want to be a nishba v'neitl. I'm not interested in being a nishba and a neitl. I'm not interested in being a nishba v'neitl. Normally, this din eini reitze b'takona zu shetiknol chacham is knows I have a right to be a neitl with a nishba. I have a right to be noitel with a nishba, and lepeil, I'm not interested in being a nishba v'neitel. So meil I'm a kilo a toyin, and you have a right to be a koifer. El hareini kishar kol atevim. So then it's a reza mashbias and nitva heses. Then he can be mashbias and nitva heses. In other words, this person is really in a better position than a regular koifer hakil. A regular koifer hakil, so the nitba has a right to swear shvuos heses. Masha'inkin the Teveh is not in the position to be a nishba v'neitel. This person is in a position to be a nishba v'neitel. But on the other hand, he doesn't want to be a nishba. So he says, listen, I don't want to be a nishba v'neitel, but on the other hand, I don't want to be less than a regular person that's a Teveh and doesn't have a right to be a nishba v'neitel. So therefore, I want to be kilo a Teveh, and I want a month from you at shvuos heses. Is areza mashbias and nitva heses. Now there's a new din. The din is when a person is mashbias so in a shvuos heses, so the nitva could be mahapav the shvuos heses on the teveya. V'mrotza lohopcha ala teveya mechayvnas ateveya lishava heses v'yitel eyelech lachamol. There is a din called a nishba v'neitel. So he has a right to be nishba v'neitel. Now let's say he doesn't want to be a nishba. He doesn't want to be a nishba. So obviously he can be a neitel. But on the other hand, he's timing, I can't be a nishba. I'm not going to be a nishba v'neitel, but I'm not any less than someone that's not a nishba v'neitel. So just like a regular person comes in tainas, so the nitva has to swear shvuos heses. So I'm demanding from the nitva shvuos heses. So that's the position where we're standing now. Now, when the nitva has this demand for a shvuos heses, so the nitva is in a position to turn back to the teveya and say, listen, I don't want to swear shvuos heses, but if you want to swear shvuos heses, you be a nishba v'neitel. So Mele comes out that this person originally was supposed to be a nishba v'neitel with a shvuah b'nekitas chayfetz. On that he was mavater on his schus to be a nishba v'neitel. So therefore he gave the nitva the option to be a nishba shvuos heses and be a niftar. And now lepel, the nitva doesn't want to swear shvuos heses either. So now he goes back to the neitel. He says, listen, you can be a nishba v'neitel, and now you'll only be a nishba v'neitel of a shvuos heses. Halacha Hoya mechuyev shvuah midivreim min hanishboim v'niftarim. Now there's a musig of a nishba v'niftar midrabanan, kigein hanishboim al taina sofik, eima hanishboim heses, and lepel v'leirotza lishava. So we said before, if a person has a chiyuv shvuah min hatera, so then the Teveya says, if you don't want to swear, yerdin l'chasov. Because lepel, either you swear or you pay. So we had like this, a person that's a mechuyev shvuah min hatera, so then the Teveya says to the nitva, either you swear or you pay. If lepel you're mechuyev shvuah midrabanan, so it depends. If you're from the nishboim v'neitlin, so again, the nitva turns to the Teveya and he says, listen, either you're a nishba v'neitel or you're not a nishba v'neitel. In other words, you can't be a neitel without a nishba. The only thing is, the nishba v'neitel has a right to turn around to the nitva, say, listen, I don't want to be a nishba v'neitel, but I want you to swear shvuos heses. So that was the process. He could turn and say, listen, the nitva should swear shvuos heses. And at that point in time, the nitva could turn back to the tevei and say, listen, I don't want to be nishba shvuos heses, but you could be swear shvuos heses and v'neitel. So lepel, the tevei is in a position, he's like in a better position. Before he had to swear a shvuah ben kitzes chayfes to be a neitel, and now he's only swearing a shvuos heses to be neitel. But that's all talking about when it is either a shvuos hatera or a nishba v'neitel. Now what happens if it's a nishba v'nifter midrabanan? That's again, halacha hoya mechuyev shvuah midivreim min hanishboim v'niftarim kin hanishboim al taina sofik im hanishboim heses and v'leiratzel lishava and lepeil, the nitva doesn't want to swear. He doesn't want to swear and he doesn't want to pay. So the din is mishamta neisi shleishim yed. They put him into a shamta for 30 days. Im leibo v'leitov and niduyov. So then it's malkin neisi makas mardas kikol mishachol olav shamtim shleishim yem, which the rule is makin neisi. And then v'achar kach matir niduyos. They give him makas mardas, and then their matter his niduy. So a person that's mechuyev shvuah midrabanan, there is a nishba v'niftar, l'moshel, the shutfim and the arisim, those people that are nishboim b'tainas sofik, or al derech zeh, someone that's mechuyev shvuos heses, so shvuah derabanan, which is a nishba v'niftar. So those cases, if he doesn't want to swear, so and he doesn't want to pay, obviously, so then they put him into a shamta. They leave him in a shamta for 30 days. They give him makas mardas, and then they're mater miduyev. Halacha vav, kol ha-mechuyev shvuos heses, Imrotza lapech hashvu ala tiveya, harei hativeya nishba heses v'netel mechaberia, like we learned before. That when a person is mechuyev v'shvuas heses, he's a kaifer hakel. So then he has the din is he has to swear shvuas heses. But on the other end, the nitva, which has to swear shvuas heses because of the tainus hativeya, could be mahapet and tell the tiveya be a nishba v'netel. Ve'ein lecha misha nishba heses v'netel mechaberei elazeh sheneb chol shvuas heses. Normally a shvuas heses is always a nishba v'niftar. But the only hechetimtza of a nishba v'noitel, a shvuas heses, that a person is a nishba v'noitel, is only if the shvuas heses, if the nitva was mahapech, the shvuas heses on the teveya. And ve'ein lecha shvuas sheti hapech, the only time that a person, a nitva, could go ahead and go back to the teveya and say, you swear and be noitel, rather than I swear and be niftar, ve'ein lecha shvuas sheti hapech, el shvuas heses bilvad. Av shvuas shel teira, or shel devreim, shikein shel teira, all the shvuas which are kein shel teira is ein hefken shvuasam. There's no musig of being mahapich a shvua, a regular shvua. The only shvua that you can be mahapich is only a shvuas heses. When a person comes along in tainas, and the other person is a kefer hakel, or the person said halach. So in such a case, it was a tani chitim edli b'seidim. So in those cases, there's a din of a shvuas heses. So in those cases, the din is that you can be mahapich the shvua. Halacha zayin. Ein mashbiyan shvuas heses. Ella al tainas vade, aval ala safik potter. In order for a person to be mechuyev shvuas heses, as we were saying before, that a shvuas heses, normally when a person is a kefer hakel, there's no real reason for him to be mechuyev shvuah menatei. He's not a made of a mixas, and there's no eidachad, and he wasn't a shamer. I'll call upon him. There's a musig of a shvuas heses. Is that in order to be chayiv a shvuas heses, you have to be that there should be a tainas vade. Ketzad. Person comes along and says kimedumali. Shieshli etzl chamona, oy she'amar molna shel visicha kimedumali shlei preitani. I think that I lent you money, or I think you never paid me back, or itain is amali abba shieshli etzl chamona. I don't really know myself, but I know my father told me. My amali abba shieshli etzl chamona. Eit sivala b'flieidim shieshli etzl chamona, or davar plain in nignav mi beisi and v'leihay yisham elata. The only person I could suspect is you. I don't know for a fact that you stole it. I didn't see you stealing it, but I know I'm missing it, and you're the only person that was there, so I suspect that you're the one that took it. In other words, I got money from you. Later on, I made a cheshbon. I took a look at the money. I seem to have been missing money. Maybe you're the one that gave me the wrong amount of money. The nitva tainas, the tainas bari, ein lecha biyadi klum. So that harei the potter af mishvuas heses v'chein kol kietz b'zeh. So this person is taining that I think you owe me money, and this person is saying I don't owe you any money. So then there's no din of a shvuas heses. Halacha ches. So the first we learned here in halacha zayin that in order to be chayiv a shvuas heses, there has to be a tainas vade of the tiveya. Halacha ches. Mona yeshli biyotcha bevadei. The tiveya tainas bevadei yomi amona. Abavanitva emer eini yidea. Shema yesh lecha, shema ein lecha. I'm not really sure. I don't know for sure not, but I don't know for sure. I'm not being moida. Is harei anitva nishba heses she'eini yidea v'nifter. So even though he's a bari and he's a shema, the halacha is that bari v'shema, we still say amitz mechaber al v'raya. The fact that he's a bari is not enough to be meitzi moment from the shema. We say that the money remains b'cheskose. However, the one that's taining a taina shema has to swear that bahimas shema could be bahimas avade. So if he would taina tainas vade that he doesn't know the money, you have to swear that he doesn't know the money. But if he's taining a taina shema, which because of that he'll be potter, he has to be a nishba shvuas heses that bahimas shema again. Money yeshli biyotcha bevadai. V'hanitva emer eini yidea shema yesh lecha shema ein lecha. So the din is harei hanitva nishba heses. What's the heses? She'eini yidea and v'nifta shlichi of atzmi bevadei v'chein kol kiyetz, but he wasn't meida and he's taining that it's shema and memela he has to swear that by him it's shema. Kur chitim yeshli biyotcha bevadei v'hanitva emer eini yidea im chitim hu im seirim. So the din is harei nishba heses she'eini yidea u'mishalim seirim v'chein kol kiyetz b'zeh. So in other words, the Ram holds that when a person says kur chitim yeshli biyotcha, and if he would be made the bevadei that he owes him seirim, so he would pay him the seirim, which is worth less than the chitim. But on the other end, that wouldn't be considered a made of mikzas because it's not me'ena taina. So therefore, the rest of the taina on the chitim, he would swear shvuas esses. So let's say the chitim are worth $100 and the seirim are worth $50. Now lepel he tainas you owe me a kur chitim, and lepel he's saying I only owe you a kur seirim. So even though really he's being made of a mikzas, but since it's not me'ena taina, so therefore the fact that the extra $50 he has to be swear shvuas esses, as if he would have been a kefer hakel. As if he would have been a kefer hakel, so he has to swear over here also a shvuas esses. Now Aldera is over here. Over here he's saying maybe I owe you chitim. So let's say he wouldn't have said anything about the seirim. He would have said you owe me chitim, and then he would have said maybe I owe you chitim. I don't know. So he would have to swear shvuas esses. Then maybe yeah, maybe not. So over here he's saying I definitely owe you seirim, but maybe I owe you chitim. In other words, I'm not really sure if it's chitim or seirim. So therefore the seirim he has to pay because he definitely owes him at least the dmei seirim. And benegeh the chitim, so even on the tzad that he owes him seirim, he's not a made of a mixas. So mele on that he has to swear a shvuas hesses. What kind of shvuas hesses? The shvuas hesses that I don't know if it's like a chitim or maybe it's only seirim. That's the same thing. In other words, on one hand he's a made of seirim, so he has to pay the seirim. But on the other hand, since it's not yedem, maybe it's chitim. So therefore, that prat he has to swear shvuas hesses, and the shvuas hesses is that any yedem. Halachat tes. Mona yeshli biyotcha bevadai. Now b'hanitva eimer ken hoye lecha biyodi. Aval eni yedei mechzarti lecha yedai lechzarti lecha. So in the cases before, the person is tying a tainas vadai, and he's saying it's a tainas shema. I don't know if I ever owed you any money. Over here he's being moided that he owed her money. But now he's saying, I don't know, maybe I paid you back the money. So here is chayav l'shalom, since he's being made that he owed him the money, and he's being made that he doesn't really know that he paid him back. And on the other end, the tivei is tying a tainas vade that he didn't pay him back. So that is chayav l'shalom. V'lei yishava hativei klal afil shvuas esed. There's no need for the tivei to swear anything. B'pnei shu yideh b'vade shu chayav. V'harizatein ese tainas vade. V'nestapik leim niftar elei niftar. V'chen kol kies b'zah. There's definitely a tainas vade, and he's made that there's a yisod that he taka owed him the money, and now there's only a suffix whether he paid him or not. So since there was a vade chiyuv, and there is a suffix whether or not there was a tashlumin, and lepeil there's a tiveya b'tainas vade, so he has to pay. That's only talking about when there's a tiveya with the tainas vade. Avalim elei tiveya elohoidem yatzmi v'omer gzalticha ehil visani mana. Or avicha hefkedas limona ve'eni yedei mechzarti elei echzarti. You know, the nitva comes along and he says, not a nitva. Someone comes along and he says that lepel something happened, which as a result of that I owed you money, but on the other hand I'm not sure if I paid. Nochamal hitainas gzalticha hilvisani mona avicha hefkedas limona ve'eni yedei mechzarti elei echzarti. So over here is eni chayav l'shalom because there's no tiveh with a tainas bari. In Bolas is the Shemaim because he knows that he stole the money, he knows that he owed the money, and he's not really sure that he ever paid. So in Bolas is the Shemaim is Chayav l'Shal. Halachiyut Mana li biyotcha. Sometimes Mana li biyotcha. He answers back Ein lecha biyodi klum. And now he says Hishava Hesses v'lech. You swear Hesses. Because the Tiveh says to the Nitva swear Hesses, and on that the Nitva says back to the Tiveh Hishava ata Hesses v'tul. I don't want to swear. So the din is harei anitva emele ei shava v'tol itel b'liklum. Ein shav hipochacher. That's the pashto. That's the din that the nitva of a shvuas hesses could be mahap of the shvuas hesses on the tivei, and that's it. If the tivei doesn't want to swear shvuas hesses, so then the nitva is potter. However, v'yesh lo ilahachrim stam al mishu chayv v'leitli. So the lepel he's not going. In other words, the tivei is in a position that he could be a Hishava V'tul, he could swear Shvuas Hesses and Tul. He doesn't want to swear Shvuas Hesses, but on the other hand, he has a position to be Machrim, someone that really owes him money and he's not paying him money. Halacha Yudalev, Heiru Rabbeisai, Shekol Mishin is Chayiv Shvua, Ben Shel Teira, Ben Shel Devreim, Afilo Heshes. Is Yesh Li L'Hachrim Stam, Kedim She Yishava, Al Kol Mi Sheyitin Alai Dover She'eni Chayiv Bei, Kedei She'ashbia Eisi Bechinam, he's being machmir like this. I'm going to swear right now because lepel I'm in a position that I have to swear either shvuas ateiros or shvuas derabanan. I'm in a position that I have to swear. But the reason why I have to swear is because you're tying. He's tying that the reason I'm swearing is because the other person is tying a tiny sheker. I want to be machrim, someone that's being toyin a taina sheker, which is forcing me in a position to swear. I don't really want to swear. I'm saying that what I'm swearing right now is true. What I'm going to be nishba is true. But on the other hand, I don't want to swear, so I want to be machrim, someone that's causing me to swear something, even though what I'm swearing is true. And v'yana mashbi yomit, so mashbi, the one that's causing him to swear, shel yana omen. And b'achar kach yishav, that was Heiru Rabbeisa, the Heiru Rabbeisa Nochamal, Heiru Rabbeisa. Shekol Mishin is Chayiv Shvua, Ben Shol Teira, Ben Shol Divrei, Afilo Hesses, is he's in a position, Yesh Le Lahachrim Stam, Koidim Sheishav, Al Kol Mishitin Olay Dover, Sheini Chayiv Bekedi, Sheyashbi Eisi Bechinam, and V'yana Mashbi Amen. And only V'achar Kach, only then is Yishav Azeh. And V'takona Tevi Izu, Lebali Dinim, כדי שימנו מטעין השקר וליגמרו לעשי שם שמיים לבטולה וליסירו שם משוב, in order to avoid taina sheker and shvuas, which are unnecessary shvuas. So therefore they instituted that before the nitva has to swear, he has a right to be machrim and also to insist that the teveh should answer amen. I don't want to answer amen. In other words, I don't want to answer amen to a chayrim. You owe me a shvua, swear. You're making a chayrim amid that if I'm being mashbi a sheker, so I should have to answer amen. So we say, no, that's the Heiru Rabbeisai that they instituted, that the mashbiah should answer amen to this chayrim in order for him to prevent him from actually going ahead and insisting that the other person should swear if it's not really true. Halacha Yud Beis. Kol mishin is chayev shvua ben shel teira ben shel devreim is megalgal olav hamashbiah kol mashiyirtze. The person that's causing him to swear, whether that person is the teveya, so this is a shvuas hanitva, or even if that person is the nitva and lepel, this shvua is a shvua of a nishba v'netel. By nishba v'netel also there's a muslim of gilgal shvua. Is kol mishin is chayev shvua ben shel teira ben shel devreim. So the din is megalgal olav hamashbiah. The person that's causing him to swear could be mashbiah kol mashiyirtze midvarim shim yeda bem yischayev moment. From those things that if that person would be made, he would be chayev moment. He could also insist that he should swear also a gilgal shvua. And the din is that a gilgal shvua you could mon even if it's a taina suffix. In other words, the tevei of the gilgal shvua doesn't have to be a taina zvadei. I want you to swear so in other words, he's money by him money, he's money by him money, he's saying you owe me $100, and that person is kaifer. So now that person is going ahead and is swearing a shvuas hesses that he doesn't owe him the $100. So he could also insist that besides the $100, I also want you to swear she'ein avdiata. B'chlal shvuas that shalinim karteli be'avadivri v'adayin avdiata. Kvar biarnu she'ein megalgal and ala socher. By a socher, there's a special in the socher, which is a nishba v'neitel. So and he has the right to be nishba v'neitel. So the tevas hasocher Chazal instituted that the person, the balabayas, can't cause the socher to go ahead and be megalgal other shuas. So the socher is just a nishba that he still owes him the schiris and he's a neitel. But a regular nishba v'neitel, there could also be a din of gilgal shua. Gilgal shua is not only on a nishba v'niftar, it's also on a nishba v'neitel. Halacha yud gimel. So that would mean, Mashal, if he wants to be noitel, so he says, good, you'll be noitel and swear that to be noitel. But on the other hand, I want you also to swear all these other shuas, which is the gilgal shua. Halacha yud gimel. Mishin is chayiv shua afilo heses. And lepel v'hiskil hativeya legalgalol of dvarim acherim shelitan oisom tchilo. He started asking him other tainas. In other words, first he asked him, he said, you owe him $100. He says, I don't know you $100. So he says, all right, so you have to swear shvuas hesses. So that person, the nitva, is ready to swear shvuas hesses. Now when he's about to swear shvuas hesses, he says, besides swearing a shvuas hesses, I want you to also swear she'ein avdiata, she'ein ata avdi, all kinds of other things. And now this person is not really interested in going through all those shvuas that this person is being teveya. Say Nachamal. V'hischal hativeh legalgal of dvarim achem sheliton esim tchilam. In roa zoa nitva kach. V'amar eini reitzi lishava. And I don't want to swear. Whereas I don't want to swear about the $100 and start swearing about all those other cases. El hareini mishalim atayne rishein l'shenischafti ba'al kviras yishua. Whereas if he would have gone ahead and right away paid the money, so there would have never been a dion of a shvua, so obviously there wouldn't have been a dion of a gilgal shvua. So he's saying, you know what, let's forget about the shvua that was about to swear, and I'm going to go ahead and pay the original taina, and Memela there's no shvua, there's no gilgal shvua. So the din is ein shemble. Because Lepel, since he said that he's going to swear, and he was about to swear, so Memela, you could insist that you want him to swear all the Gilgal Shvuos as well. In other words, pay him up all the tainas that he's taining. Mitainas havadoyis. The emes is a Gilgal Shvuah, as we said, you can be Megalgal Shvuah even for a taina suffix. But Lepel, you can't insist that he should pay you all those taina suffix, because Lepel is only a taina suffix. So if he's swearing, so you can insist that he should also swear a Gilgal Shvuah about the taina suffix. Masha'enkin, if he says, I don't want to swear, I'm going to pay, so then you can't insist that he should pay also for the tainus suffix, but you could insist that he should also pay for the tainus vadoyas. In other words, that he has a chi of shvuah on the tainus vadoyas, and if he doesn't want to swear, so then he has to pay. Then he should pay. I mean, if he doesn't pay, so again, it's not going to be you're not going to be yered l'nchosav. But on the other hand, he has a chi of shvuah. It's like we said before, if a person, you put him into a shamta, so that's this din. Now, we have to understand, a personal mashla is in a position to be a nishba v'neitel. So he says, I'll be a nishba v'neitel. Now they say, well, if you want to be a nishba v'neitel, so I want you also to swear other shvuos which are a gilgal shvuah. So a sucker is a nishba v'neitel, you can't make a gilgal shvuah. But a regular nishba v'neitel, you could be make a gilgal shvuah. Now, what happens if he says, I don't want to be a nishba v'neitel anymore. I'll not be a neitel. I won't be a nishba and I won't be a neitel. So could you, in such a case, doesn't pass to say you should insist that you want him to swear the other shuas. Whereas Bishlim, when he's a nishba v'niftar, so over there we say, Lepel, I'm tiny, you owe me money. So you're tiny, you don't owe me money. So I say, so swear. So he says, I'm ready to swear. And now he's saying, I want to pay instead of swearing. So now we say, no, you still already have a chiyuv to swear, and you have a chiyuv of the other gilgulim shuas. That's by a nishba v'niftar. But by a nishba v'neitel, it's hard. In other words, a person comes along and he says, I'm willing to swear in order to be neitel. Now you're telling me that I have to go ahead and swear the other shuas. So now I'm being mavater, I'm being neitel. So in such a case, could you insist on those other shuas? L'chore, the whole shvu is only nishba v'neitel. I'm not going to be a nishba v'neitel. I'm not sure about this dinner. But that's clear. But again, nishba v'niftar, if you, like you said, you're going to swear, and then he was megalgal other shvuas, so you have to go ahead. If you don't want to even swear the original shvua, you have to pay that original shvua plus all the other tainas vadoyes that the teveya has against the nitva. Halacha yudal. Hatoinas chaveri tainas harbe emash be an esi al kol taina v'taina. El shvua achas alakel. You make one shvua about all the tainas. Now nischayev shtei shvuas al shtei tainas. And the two shvuas are, one is a shvua kala, and the other one is a chamura. In other words, you have, let's say, one shvua, which is a shvua shalteira, the other one is only midrabanan, or the other one is only a shvuas heses. So the din is mashbi and esi a chamura, and then megalgal and baal shara dvarim. So you make a gilgal shvua together with the chamura. That's a more chamadik shvua. In other words, the tevei is in a position to insist on a more chamadik shvua. So in other words, if there would be only the kala, so you would only be able to mund the shvua kala. Let's say a shvua without an kitzes chayfetz. But since Lepeli already has this other shvua which been the kitzes chayfetz, so you can say the gilgal of that shvua which is swearing with kitzes chayfetz, instead of swearing on the other thing, it's just a shvua sesses without the kitzes chayfetz, swear within the kitzes chayfetz as a gilgal of the shvua which you are mechoyev, a shvua chamura. Halacha tezvav. Kol hatoyin al chaveri taina shem heidaba. Even if the other person will be meida, ain't he chayev l'shalom moment? Anyways, he wouldn't be chayev l'shalom moment. Is aval b'shekofar, he's denying the taina. Because if he would have been made the taina, he also wouldn't have been mechuyev to pay. Lepel is denying the taina. Is a mechayev, and they say leishvua sesses v'leicherim stop. So you're not mechayev a shvua or cherim, because l'chura, what's the mechayev? Reuven is taining against Shimon something that if Shimon will be moida, so Shimon will anyways be potter. So l'chura it's pashut that Shimon has nothing to swear. What's it to swear? He has to swear on his kviras. His kviras is irrelevant. Ketzat. Amarta shetitin limon. Reuven tells Shimon, you told me that you're going to give me a money. Now that Shimon is timing, lehoyu dvar mi'elam. So the din is emash be in aces hesses, and v'lei cherim stam. Why? Sheilo heide b'davar zeh d'cheine chayiv klub. Even if it would have been made, he would have been chayiv. So Memela, what's there to swear about? In other words, he's timing, you did this. And Lepel, if he would have said, I did it, so he would have been potter. So now he's saying he didn't do it, so what's there to swear? L'maynaf kimina, if it's true or it's not true. Either way, he's potter. Ata kilalto isi, or ata hitzei solai shemra, and the other person is tiny lehoya dvar me'elam, is again Ein machrim al zeh, because lepel, there's no chiyuv mammon for this kilalta, and there's no chiyuv mammon for this hoitzi ala shemra. V'chein kol kiyetze b'dvar meila l'chur it's a pashut. Look, you have to understand what's the chiddush over here, because lepel, there's a taina, and he's being koifer on the taina, but lepel, even if it would be made on the taina, it would be potter. So what's there to swear about? Why does he have to substantiate? Why does he have to strengthen the kfira, the mind of kamin of the kfira is true or it's not true? Halacha tezayin, ato chavalta bi, and he says lehoyu dvar me'elam. So then the din is arizim nish beheses. Why? Now the Rambam holds that when a person is moida that he was chayvel b'chaverei, so he's potter from nezek, pozik from nezek, because nezek has a din of knas, and memela he's potter from nezek. But nevertheless, he's chayiv to swear shvuas eses. Sh'afal pi she'enim shalom knas al pi atzmei. He won't take a page knas al pi atzmei, which is the nezek and the tsar. But nevertheless, mishalim sheves v'ripu ubeishas. So he's going to have to pay the sheves v'ripu ubeishas. So memela, when a person says ata chavalta bi, and that person is denying it, so even if he would be made, he would be potter on the nezek and on the tsar. But on the other, he would have been chayiv the sheves v'ripu ubeishas. And memela, by denying it, he's being kafir moment. Ata biashtani, if he tells him you are mavayish me, and on that the person answers, the nitve answers lehoyu dvar me'elim. So it depends. Im hoyu b'mokim shegoyim b'knoses. So me'el, if he would have been moida that he was mavayish, he would have been chayev. So then is arizan nish beheses for him shilo heidoy mishalom beishas. Mashenkin, if it's in a place where they're not mechayev on beishas, they're not going to knoses. So me'el, even if he would have been made, he would have been potter. So me'el, there's no din to be nishba. Halacha Yud Zayin. B'med dvarim amurim shameida b'knas potter. We're saying someone that's made the b'knas is potter knows Reuven is tying to Shimon that chavalta be, and Memela and Shimon is being moida. Even if he would have been moida that chaval, he would have been potter because the main nezik and the tsar is knas. When do we say made the b'knas is potter? When he is moida on the act. Whereas he's tying you did something which on that you're mechuyev knas, and he's being moida and he's saying, yeah, I did that act, which for that you're mechuyev knas. But the ma'aseh is by knas, the chiyuv knas doesn't come through doing something which you're mechuyev knas. Chiyuv knas comes when there's a person did something which you're mechuyev knas. Adam came and told Bezdin that he did it, and then Bezdin was mechayiv knas. The knas doesn't happen in the mail. The knas, when a person does something which is chayiv mammon, so for doing this act you're chayiv mammon. Masha'enkin, a person's mazik someone's item, so he's chayiv for the hezek. The pale Bezdin is only going to go ahead and mon this money, but the chiyuv mammon happens through the Maisa Hezek. Masha'enkin, things which are a chiyuv knas, it's not pshat, the act causes the chiyuv knas. The act enables that when there's Bezdin, when there's Adam coming Eidus about this act, and then Bezdin paskins that you did it, so then it becomes a chiyuv knas. So as I say, so when a person is made on the act, so the pale his eidah is enough, not enough to be mechayiv in Bezdin. And Memela, so he's potter. Made the beknas is potter. V'amedvar mamurim shamei the beknas potter b'shahida b'davar shechayiv al knas. He was made on the act which would have been mechayiv in knas. In she'amar chavalti bazeh, he says I was taka chayvel. So Memela, he's potter from paying nezik and tsar. Avalim heida shechavalti bazeh. He was made that I taka made a chavala, and not only I made a chavala, v'hevi ol I ate the bebezdin. He brought Adam bebezdin v'chivuni little kach v'kach. And Bezdin was mechayiv me, so now he already says that I did this act, and this act already was nishtalshel to become a chiyuv, because Lepel through this act, Adam came and said about this act, and Bezdin was mechayiv me. So then it's ariza chayiv l'shal. So then he's chayiv l'shal, because the din of made the b'knas potter means because through the hidoy it doesn't become a chiyuv, because the act doesn't mechayiv without a Bezdin. Masha'enkin, if he's being made that there was a Bezdin involved, the Bezdin already was mechayiv him, so that money, that knas became moment. Lefichach im toin atein shebezdin chiyiv eisel l'shalom mea dinim mishum shechavalta bi, and v'hu eimer lei hoyu dvar me'elam. So that's a regular taina. That's not a taina of knas, even though it came as a result of knas. But he's taining you owe me the mea dinim because Bezdin was already mechayiv, and he says lei hoyu dvar me'elam. So then there's a reason nish behesed. Then there's a regular shvuas heses. V'chein kol ki yetze b'zeh.